Hi, my name is Julie Caruso, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Environmental Science Weekly Packet for Week 2, covering April 13th through 17th. This week's learning menu is all about how do organisms regulate their internal environment. So we're going to be introducing you to a phenomenon surrounding populations and variety of species in Yellowstone National Park. Anytime you're introduced to a phenomenon, you need to stop and think about what it is that is going on in that particular phenomenon, in this case, the environment. So what do you think about when you think about Yellowstone National Park? Maybe you already know, maybe you need to Google it, but maybe you're thinking about the famous geyser, Old Faithful, or camping in Yellowstone National Park. And you definitely need to be thinking about the organisms that live there, trees and other plants, animals, for instance, buffalo, bear, deer, bunny rabbits, insects, all kinds of organisms are living there. And we want to keep all of these things in mind since we're talking about the phenomenon of an ecosystem. So as you move through this week's lesson, you'll be looking at how external factors like variety of species and their population sizes in an ecosystem cause changes to the internal factors of individual species, such as herd behaviors, life expectancy, and other internal factors. We begin by looking at a graph that talks about the relationship between wolves and elk in Yellowstone National Park. This graph is showing you evidence collected over a 25-year period. Make sure you're looking at it carefully. You're going to write a hypothesis to explain what would happen to the elk population if hunters killed all the wolves. Please make sure you write that hypothesis first. It's always important to know where our thoughts are starting, and then we can see what we learn throughout. Once you've written your hypothesis, you're going to select this link right here, and you're going to read the article that is linked. Enjoy the article that's provided, but be sure to pay attention for additional information you can find within some of these articles. For instance, on this one here, you see a link for population structure, which will take you to another website. There's a summary section here, and there's a review section in which we'd like you to answer these questions to make sure that you're getting to the points that this article is trying to drive. Moving to the K-12 website, which we'll ask you to do a couple of times during this week's lessons, will take you to a dashboard, and you're going to look for the selection that the link was titled as. So you'll see here population structure, just like you saw population structure linked here in the article. Once you've finished looking through that, head back to the weekly plan. There's another article here, and read through the bullet points. Once you get to the bottom, you will see that we're asking you to keep certain things in mind. This will help keep you on track as you move through the weekly lesson plan. When you get to the investigate section, you're going to see some more data presented here that we'd like you to read through carefully. Then we ask you to write a claim evidence reasoning, or CER, that answers the research question: how did the reintroduction of wolves in Yellowstone change the family structure of other species? Use your best academic writing, and if you need help remembering what claim evidence reasoning is, click on this link here and it will take you to a helpful graphic. When you're ready, move into the next section, learn about it. We'd like you to read population, again, adapted from the K-12 website, and then on a separate piece of paper, write 3 things you learned, 3 things you find interesting, and 1 thing you still have a question about. Want to know more about it? Here's another helpful link. Next, we're going to ask you to create something. So on a piece of paper, draw your own ecosystem. This is one of the skills that science really puts a lot of emphasis on, modeling. On a piece of paper, draw your own ecosystem. In this model, there are things that we would like you to include in there to make sure you're understanding the full scope of what is going on in the Yellowstone National Park ecosystem. Then we'd like you to demonstrate your learning. You have 6 choices below. Each one is a little different. Each has its own challenges. Select at least one, but challenge yourself to do more. Then you can go into extensions, again optional, but we'd always love you to challenge yourself, where we offer a little more information including videos and other articles, and ask you to develop 2 research questions about the human population over time. But again, we're talking about humans here, not just Yellowstone National Park. Again, claim evidence reasoning is asked for and modeling as well. We hope you enjoy this week's lessons and stay tuned for next week. Remember, if you have any questions, reach out to your environmental science teacher and stay safe.